Hey guys, welcome back to
Gabrielle. I'm Gabby and I approve this message.
Today the question that we're going to be focusing on is, are you a spender or a saver?
I wanna be a billionaire so freaking bad. Buy all of the things I never had. I wanna be on the cover of Forbes magazine, smiling next to Oprah and the Queen. Oh, every time I close my eyes, I see my name in shining lights. Yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire. Yeah, I will have a show like Oprah. I will be the host of Everyday Christmas. Give Audie a wish list. I'll probably pull an Angelina and Brad Pitt and adopt a bunch of babies that ain't never had it. Give away a few Mercedes like, here lady, have this. And last but not least, grant somebody their last wish. It's been a couple months that I've been single, so you can call me Audie Claus minus the ho-ho. Get it? I'll probably visit where Katrina hit, and Don Shore do a lot more than FEMA did. Yeah, can't forget about me, stupid. Everywhere I go, I'ma have my own theme music. Oh, every time I close my eyes, what you see, bro? I see my name is shining light. And what else? A different city every night.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. So that was just to explain a little bit about money and what happens to your life if you use it the wrong way. So now we're going to get back to our topic. What exactly is money? Is it just like a square looking thing that has $1 bill, $5 bill, $50 bill, $100 bill? What is it? That's the question. So a couple days ago, I was walking down the street and my mom asked me, she's like, hey Gabby, there's a $5 bill on the floor. So I go and I pick it up. Then she's like, what are you going to do with this? I was like, obviously spend it. So we go to the mall and I figure out what I want. So I go to 5 different stores, can't find anything. She's like, Gabby, you have $5. What are you going to do with those $5? And so I think, wait a minute. What if I don't spend it at all? What if I save it so that next week when I have another $5 bill, it'll make $10 bills. Then I'll have more money. So I know me, I'm a big spender. I just get the money and then I go whoop right to the store. What do you do? Are you a spender? Are you a saver? Do you just get money and then go whoop just like me to the mall and spend it on new clothes? Or do you save it for the future and you be smart about life and put in your bank accounts and then you get more money on top of more money? Or are you stupid about your money? I was in my human geo class and we were reading an article about money. John Lieber in the New York Times writes, why should you tell your children how much you make? In my opinion, I think it is super useful to tell your children how much you make. According to John Lieber, he thinks it is super important to tell your children how much you make. When Scott Parker wanted to show his children and introduce them to the importance of money, he wanted to do something that most parents would have thought this was radical. So one day he takes his children to the Wells Fargo bank and asks them to find his monthly salary and give it to him in cash. That's a lot of money to give in cash. It took 24 hours for the tellers to round up the bills. The next day he took $100 stacks in a canvas bag. His oldest son Daniel, who was about 15 at the time, remembered his dad walking in with $10,000 worth of cash. He said it looked like as if he robbed a bank. Then Mr. Parker started putting bills aside, some for the church, some for the house payments. Then he started putting some money away for other necessities. By the time he was done, there was not that much money left. Mr. Parker thinks it's important to let kids know about the value of money and how much you're spending or saving or using, and about the salary, because then they get a bigger impact at a younger age, and then they can learn for the future. According to New York Times and Mr. Rogers, money is a great mystery to children, and it holds a lot of power in their life, so they ask a lot of questions, and it's important that the adults answer it for us and give them the right foundation that we need to understand the importance of money. I know for me, I ask this question a lot. Why do they have more money than us? Why don't you work where she works? Why can't we all just get paid the same amount of money and everyone can live a happier life? Why does she have a bigger house than me? Why do I not have a bigger house than him? Why do they have a dog? Why I don't have a dog? All these questions I ask, and it's all related to money. And I wish when I was younger that my parents would have explained to me it more. And right now, as a teenager, a 15-year-old teenager, I'm finally understanding the importance of money and how important it is to save up for the future. I'm going to college in 3 years. I have high school right now. What about a scholarship? What about I have no money to send her to school? I have no money to send him to school. All these questions are what boggle my mind, and I'm still trying to find the answer. And lately, my grandma has been explaining a lot to me, a lot about money and the importance of investing and saving money and all these topics. And I look forward to learning more about it, and I just relate to this article so much. Adults, however, do a miserable job at answering these questions for us. They always tell us, oh, you're being impolite, or oh, that's rude, don't ask that. But really, we need to be educating our children. For me, as a child, I always asked, why do we live in a small house? Why does my friend get this and I don't? But really, my parents should have answered those questions for me, because I'm right now, as a 15-year-old girl, understanding when I should have been understanding when I was at the age of 5 or 6. I agree with this article 100%. I think it hits the high notes, the low notes. I think it shows both perspectives, and I just think it's a great article. It's in the New York Times. I think you all should read it. So please let me know, are you a spender or a saver? Please comment down what you are, because I'm really interested. Also, I'm going to be doing an interview and asking them what they think about money and if they're a spender or a saver. Let's go see. Are you a spender or a saver?
I'm a saver. I'm a saver.
Both. I like to save my money up, and I always worry about not having enough, so I like to save my money.
Saver.
And both, I think. I don't know.
I'm a saver.
Both. I'm a saver.
I'm a saver.
I am definitely a spender. I love clothes.
I think I'm a bit of both.
Spender.
Saver.
I am a saver.
Spender.
I'm a saver.
Spender. I'm a saver. I'm a saver. Spender.
Saver.
Saver.
Spender.
I'm a saver.
How much does your family talk about money?
Like, a little bit.
How much does your family talk about budgeting and money in the household?
A lot.
What has your family taught you about money?
Money is one of those things where you can't like just go out and spend it. You have to save it, because our parents work really hard for it, and it doesn't grow. It's like our parents always say this: money doesn't grow on trees. And they say like for me to like save money and budget wisely.
What have your parents taught you about money?
Well, my parents taught me about saving. My parents taught me not to spend money on just trivia, not on a greed, but on a need.
Does your family talk about money or budgeting in a household? We don't talk a lot about money in a household, but we always talk about like ways we can save money and better ways to use it, or things that we can use it toward.
What have your parents taught you about saving money?
They would say like, if you want to buy something, buy the cheapest version of it, or don't spend it at all, just save.
My family has taught me the importance of working hard for money and making sure that you have things that you put away, not just for a rainy day, but for your future and for your family.
How much do you talk about budgeting and money in the household?
I talk a lot about like chore money with my parents, and also my parents make me buy my clothes, which is like the thing that I love. So I'm constantly like worrying about my money, because they're like, oh no, you can't buy that.
Hey guys, so I'm back. So as you just saw in my little interview session, I interviewed a whole bunch of people and I asked them 3 questions. I asked them, are you a spender or are you a saver? I was actually really surprised by the results, because I thought in like a teenager, like 15 years old, everyone would say spender. Like, I know I'm a spender, like I spend so much money, and I was so surprised that more people said saver than spender. I find that really interesting. We'll talk about that after. But, so I asked 3 questions. Are you a spender or a saver? I asked, do your family talk about money and budgeting in the household? And a lot of people said yes. I mean, for me, my parents don't talk to me about that, and sometimes I wish they did. But my grandma talks to me about it a lot. Like you saw in my other video, my grandma was talking to me, and she was like, the lessons I'm going to teach, the lessons I learned, she learned that she should always save money, not spend it, that it should be like a privilege and like something you earn, not like something you just get, like you should work for your money. So that my grandma teaches me more about my money than my parents do. But when I was younger, my parents didn't teach me anything about money. And all these kids, as I interviewed, they're all saying, oh yeah, my parents taught me to save money, be responsible with it, don't waste it, stuff like that, which that also really surprised me. So I also asked another question. I asked everyone, what have your parents taught you about the value of money? A lot of people said the same things. They like found it very repetitive. They were saying how much their families told them to save it, save your money wisely, be careful. I feel like this day and like time, people are like taking money more seriously and thinking about it more. And in the future, that's going to be really important because when you need a job and you need money and this and that, then you'll be able to have the knowledge about money and be able to talk about money and understand it. So overall, the big question, are you a spender or are you a saver? By these answers, I was honestly so surprised and shocked by all these kids, some sophomores, some freshmen. I even asked some teachers. I asked my grandma, I asked some little kids, I asked my cousin, I asked a bunch of different people. And I was honestly really surprised by the how much the interviews contradicted the article, because the article talks about how that this guy found it super important to teach his children about the value of money. So throughout his whole story that he explains, this interviews that I did really contradicts that, because the sons knew no value about money, and when he brought home that $10,000 sack, they were all surprised because it looked like as if he robbed a bank. And I think that that guy was so smart by teaching his children about money. Although I think he should have taught them earlier, I think it was smart of him to taught it now, because in the future it'll help him a lot. Although my interviews contradict this, because a lot of everyone in the video was saying the same thing, how much they wanted to spend money, how much their parents taught them to save money and use it wisely and not to spend it, although I'm a spender. But I felt this was really interesting because of the time period, and like nowadays everyone's so concerned about money and saving money, using it wisely. And yeah, so sorry guys, I forgot to mention before, if you wanted that article that I was talking about before, it's a really great article, New York Times. I'll put the link down below right over here, so just click on it and then you can get it. But yeah, that article is really interesting, and I think everyone should read it because it really teaches us about like today's age and before, and like the importance of money, and I think everyone should just read it. Also, in the article, there are 3 different alternative questions that help relate to the whole topic as a whole, and I use those 3 questions to interview my classmates, so those count as the 3 articles. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this amazing YouTube video. Don't forget to follow the rest of my channel. Also, I hope you guys learned a lot today, and make sure to save your money, talk to your parents, tell them to tell you about money, get educated children. This is for your future, so I hope you learned a lot, and remember, save money.
I'm Gabby and I approve this message.